Okay. Good morning, Jane, and thank you so much. Louise, sorry, and thank you so much for coming to speak with us this morning, and thank you for your application. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I'm trying to get
lovely, Louise. Look, we have 3 minutes speaking time for you, which is followed by 2 minutes for questioning. So staff will let us know when the speaking time is up for you. Okay, but go ahead. Welcome.
Thank you. Apologies, you can't see my video, my camera. Kia ora, everyone. It's Louise here, the manager of the Capri Women's Centre. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and speak to you all. Yes, so we are seeking funding for the creative community once again. This course has been made available for our women in the community for many years, and this year is more, I mean, not just this year, but with everything that's gone on with COVID, it's even more important to have these courses available for women to access at such a reduced cost. Women don't just access the course to do the course, but it also helps them get out of the house and interact with other people within their community. While women are in the centre, they also access other services that's available at the centre. So it gives them a wraparound social and emotional and well-being program, really. So we hope that we will be successful this year in getting some grants to help run this course and have as many women come through as possible. There are a few courses that are new this year. In the past, we've done a lot of art courses for women accessing the course here at the centre, but this year we've I think with the impact of COVID and everything else, we've lost some of our long-standing art tutors, but we've had new women coming in wanting to offer different courses to participants that are accessing our courses at the Women's Centre. Our course, we've after some feedback from previous presentation I've done, we've increased the course just slightly to be able to meet the increased demand on material courses, but we've managed to keep the price of our courses still very low. So any woman that is wanting to experience different creative stuff can still access it with the support of the Women's Centre making the courses just at a reduced cost. And yeah, yes.
Madam Chair, that's time.
Lovely, thank you. I have a question from Michelle.
Hi there, Louise. Thank you for your time.
Hello.
Just being straightforward and curious, what exactly are the courses you're offering?
Yes. So we've applied for courses such as the paper making, flower making, flower making. This course was first introduced last year at the centre and was very popular. We actually managed to run it twice last year. I should have come with a model. Is there one in Julian's desk? Just yes. I've just asked someone to bring. So yeah, I do have one. We did have one sitting at reception so people could see what it looks like. So that's one of the course. I'll see if Amy can bring it back within my 2 minutes. We've also got landscaping design. This is very popular again. The other course we have is drawing portrait.
Yeah. So with something like landscaping design, I'm a great one at, I know how hard it is raising money. I'm a great one to try and knock on doors. Have you knocked on doors like Mitre 10 to get help with equipment for trees, flowers and all of that sort of thing? Just directly go to them and say, hey, guys, can you give us a whole lot of trees or some plants that then the people can actually have rather than having to buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we haven't done that. Normally the tutors will get those resources, and then the tutors will charge us slightly extra for those resources, but that's one way of reducing the cost. Yeah.
There's a lot of landscape places around Capri now, you know, even if you went to the council and to the Greens department, and knocked on the doors of the Green. I mean, honestly, I've been doing this a long time. I know how to knock on doors.
It is time.
Thank you. Great tips. I'll make a note of that. Yes. Thank you. And one of the courses, so that's weaving is another course that we've run for many years. Unfortunately, we were unable to hold that last year just because of the restrictions around COVID, because we have to maintain the social distancing. So we had to be careful what courses we had on. So tutors are not quite hands-on, and with the restriction changing and everything, we're hopeful that we'll be able to run the weaving course. That's very popular. A lot of people enjoy doing that course, and all our courses is a beginner level.
That is time, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All our courses are beginner level, so there's no one will feel intimidated. It's just at a beginner level to give them that skills. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Louise. Yep, staff will be in touch with the outcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Fiona.
Apologies, I didn't press the unmute button appropriately. We have Philip Simmons in the waiting room next. It looks like we're still struggling with Mr. Graham, so maybe we could come back to him later on if he can connect.
Okay, just a quick question, Fiona. Am I the only one who's experienced 2 complete blackouts so far, mic blackouts?
I haven't had any difficulty on this end. I'm not sure if others are experiencing that problem.
All right, just don't appear to. Okay, thank you. All right, next speaker, Phil.
So this is in relation to application number 14.
Hello, Phil. Okay, microphone.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me now? Oh, great.
I see your full name on your application, but we know you as Phil.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, welcome,
Jackie.
Phil. Great to see you. Wonderful application, thank you. You have 3 minutes to speak to it, and then there'll be 2 minutes for questions. Okay. Fire away.
Great. I won't take long because I'm assuming that everyone's kind of read the concept, but Talking Tree combines 2 things that I'm personally quite passionate about. Projections and the potential of projections to create various kind of effects, and small community events. So I'm Raumati South. So the idea of taking it to Raumati, which is the next village up, is kind of an interesting step for me. And that was brought about because the massive tree that we have in Raumati South's community garden, which for 2 of our small festivals, roughly 300 people turned up. The main feature was this talking tree effect that happened in the kind of half light as the sun was setting and it was getting darker, and just I thought it would be a cool effect to show to people, and the feedback that I had was encouraged me to think about it in terms of this round for Creative Communities funding. So I've split my application into the 2 stages. The what I'm actually asking for funding and support for is the creation of a new talking tree, and that is to do the animation work, the writing, recording, and animation for say, roughly 5 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes of storytelling. Yeah, and then how the presentation of the talking tree is at the moment undefined in terms of funding for that. So, and the reason for that is that I know that the council funds large events, but I'm not sure if there is any kind of funding for small events. If there was, good. If not, then I would look at putting it on personally and recouping costs from some, entry fee or koha. Yeah. Yeah, that's really about it.
That's time, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a really inspiring, great application. Really, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Any questions? Yes, Councillor Randall.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I just want to say that you're a very talented and clever person. And thank you very much for your application.
Thank you, Councillor Randall. I appreciate the positive feedback.
Okay, Michelle.
Hi, Phil. I second what Councillor Randall said. It's very cool. And yes, you are talented. I love it. The question has been asked of most candidates that there's a lot of applications this round for not as much money.
Yes.
How would it affect you if you didn't receive all the funding?
Oh well, how would it affect me if I didn't?
Or the project?
I'd find a way of working it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd find a way of working it. Most of what I'm asking for is to cover. Some of it is the writing and voicing, and that's done by a very clever friend of mine. So then there's myself and my little team of. And so I will just make a way of it working. What interests me is the how much or whether there is whether council, and I'm probably, this is probably not the domain of the grants allocation subcommittee, but if you did support it, then my next step would be to talk to whoever I need, perhaps Sonia and council, in terms of funding for the event itself, and that would determine whether I go in that direction and marketing and things were covered, and it comes under the umbrella of council projects for Matariki in particular. If there wasn't funding for that, then I would take another approach and look at and come up with my own budget. And
because we're short of time, just the next question.
Time,
5 minutes. Is it a circle?
Yep. Okay, can I just get have staff just address the question on the other events funding available, and then I'll switch to Janet. Would someone like to speak to that at this point?
Kia ora, Jackie. It's certainly something in conversation. We're still just working through the process of the funding, extra funding for that too. So I think what Phil's asking for is that planning and initial production of the event rather than the event itself. So
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, thank you. Janet.
Yeah, kia ora, Phil. I also agree that you're a very clever and talented person. I'm just wondering about this other clever and talented person. If we're funding a writer, part of what the question that we ask is who are the people delivering the project? So it'd be interesting to know, just very briefly, who your writer is and about them.
Oh, okay. So Murray Macdonald, I did a little bit of a profile. Murray Macdonald, Capri based, lifetime of creative endeavors, filmmaking, lighting. And yeah, I don't know if you checked out the video of the previous talking tree, of the prototype talking tree, but if you do, then you'll get an idea of why he's the perfect person. He has kind of got that old kind of grandfatherly, wise kind of voice, and he also has a beautiful turn of words. You know, he's a wordsmith as well. So, yeah.
I did actually see the last talking tree in the flesh, so to speak. So that was really fantastic. I didn't realize Murray was the writer, and yes, there is a brief bio of him here.
Yeah. He's one of our local unsung kind of geniuses. He doesn't make as much, he doesn't jump up and down as much as I do, but yeah.
You are known for your jumping up and down.
You are. You are. Oh, and giving everyone else permission to jump up and down as well. Every village needs that.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Spoken as a true Rasalfa.
Yeah.
At heart. Right, it's lovely, Phil. Look, there's no further questions I can see. So thank you so much. Staff will be in touch.
Thanks very much. Okay, blessings. Bye.
Bye.
Madam Chair, we have Holly Ewans coming in to the meeting now. I also have another connection of Holly. I'm not sure whether perhaps she's tried to come in twice. So perhaps we can just clarify when she's
okay.
Yes, she would be trying to come in twice. We only have one Holly.
Yeah, that's fine. That sometimes happens with Zoom if people have jumped out and then tried to jump back in. Can you hear us, Holly?
Yes. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Welcome, Holly. Good to see you.
Yeah,
again.
nice to see you too.
Yeah. Holly, you have thank you so much for your application. You have 3 minutes speaking time, and then there'll be 2 minutes for questioning. So, and Fiona will let you know how the 3 minutes is tracking. Okay, so far away.
Sure.
The floor is yours.
Our housing crisis needs no more explanation than we already know. But this is a unique take on exploring potential solutions for our community. It really is a creative community scheme in regard that it's hosted within Paikakariki and involves certain Paikakariki groups and performers and artists. It hopes to shine a light through creative means on solutions for people to take accountability for their own part in perhaps rising house prices and trying to hear from the other side of the room, to listen to someone else's perspective. And it might be a character played by an actor, or it could be a member of the audience who then is, when they buy their ticket, are instructed to say particular things or embody a character. And so the narrative outcome of that is to change with each performance. It will be housed in a building, a residential home in Paikakariki, with performances in different rooms, including the garden, maybe the toilet, in a cupboard even, where audiences are taken through different rooms, and they will include musical performances, creative performances in the way of puppet shows, and acting as well. So actors planted within the auction of the house. Its working title, as you can see, is accommodation. A sign will be erected outside the residence, a for sale sign, directed for people to go who are expressions of interest. Those who are interested in viewing the house will be taken to buy tickets digitally and come along for a what will be it will be interesting to see what happens, and the aim of which is for locals and perhaps out of towners to come in and realize that they are part of the problem and also part of the solution, and to see what plays out and to see what happens. Of course, a lot of it will be worked on in the development stage, so that we won't neatly tie it up, but we will have a narrative end to that. But it will employ lots of artists who, as we all know, have been out of pocket over this COVID time, while addressing a very current social issue. I don't think Capri is any different from the rest of New Zealand when I say that, but we all know what an important subject that it is to address housing and to do it in a fun, creative way.
It is time.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions from members? Okay, no, I'm going to jump in with my question. Oh, Janet, Janet. I have two questions. Holly, firstly, one that we are asking everyone, this is an oversubscribed round this time. What would be the outcome for the project if the application wasn't 100% successful?
I think there's two options. So one could be just to develop the show. So it would be development only and not performance, because this is a show that could work anywhere. That's the idea. So that it's like a pilot, I suppose you could say. So if it works in Paikakariki, it could work elsewhere, or it could go to the Fringe Festival. So we could develop it, or I wouldn't want to take the money away from performers, but I do know that there is wiggle room in there to reduce. I certainly myself am not getting paid. That's not, I haven't factored my cost in there. I think we'd be able to get a venue for free. I think we'd probably be able to get rehearsal space for free. And I think that there would be a willingness from the community to get involved. And I think most of you know how Paikakarikians like to get in boots and all, and I'm fortunate to have many people around me who believe in the kaupapa of this project. But I do believe there's wiggle room in the budget to be able to still pull it off, but actually I would really like performers to be paid. I think they need it. But I do think venue, I think that we could get for free, and rehearsal space we could get for free. Thanks, Holly. Look, my second question is, I'd love to be a fly on the wall at this show. I really would, or even attend. But are you going to film this? I really think you should be paying, get a cameraman in there to film what happens in the outcome. That could be possible. It could be possible, and again, I know some people with skills and cameras that. Right. So I think that there's just lots of opportunity to pull in other people who would volunteer their time, those who can, for free. It would be great for the Housing Trust to be able to put it on their website. Things like that, just and to document the outcome. Really, what I'd really
it's
like.
Time, Madam Chair.
Thanks.
Okay, that's great, Holly. Look, thank you so much, and no more questions. The staff will be in touch and let you know the outcome.
Cool. Great. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we have Himiona Grace coming into the meeting now. And that is in relation to application number 20.
Hello.
Are you able to hear us, Himiona?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Now over to you, Madam Chair.
Oh, okay, thank you. You can't see me, can you?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, but we can hear you. Good morning and welcome, Himiona.
Thank you.
To the committee. I'm Jackie, the chair. You have 3 minutes to speak to your application when you're ready, and there's 2 minutes for questioning after, but staff will let you know if that's when that 3 minutes is up.
Okay.
Okay, are you ending up getting your camera on?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I just can't figure how.
Okay.
Down the
That's
bottom of
all
your
right.
screen,
feel
you
free to
should
speak.
have start video on the bottom left-hand
Yes,
side of the screen.
it is usually there, but it's not there. I'm on an iPad, which is sometimes a little bit.
Across
Anyway,
the top
I could
bar.
talk. Shall I
Yeah,
just
Mike.
talk?
Yes, we can hear you
Oh,
beautifully.
here we go. Hang on.
Great, I can see
Here we
you.
go. Anyway, I'm sitting in the back of my van, by the way. Good morning. Shall I just talk?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yep, far away.
About 10 years ago, I did a similar project where we got a 1920s film that was shot in Rotorua and was a silent movie, and a couple of pretty well-known musicians, Warren Maxwell and Markham McGregor. And we played this at the Paramount Theatre in Wellington. And it was really, really successful. And I thought about doing it again. But then I actually thought, well, maybe I could do this with footage that's associated with Capri. I mean, I'm also thinking of getting archival footage. I've shot a lot myself, but I also know there's a lot of footage out there that could be used. And I'd like to just create a musical soundtrack that is played live while the movie is being screened. And I just think it would be a really good thing to do, firstly in St. Peter's Hall, Waikariki, and then possibly other places. But it could actually travel anywhere in Capri. But I thought initially we could do 2 screenings. I've got some musicians in mind, and we create a whole live soundtrack. That's basically the project. And I think showcasing Capri would be a good way to describe it. But I also don't, I'm not thinking of making a tourist video, even though it probably will be. But try and tell a story, of course, because in movies you need to tell stories. So I haven't figured that bit out yet. That will come once I know what footage I've got and how far I can take this project. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It sounds really, really inspiring. Beautiful. Do we have any questions from the committee? Yep, Councillor Holbrook. Microphone.
I think it's my turn to ask the question, Madam Chair. We're asking pretty much everybody this, Hermione. Good to see you today. We've got a really tightly subscribed round this time, particularly tight.
Yeah.
And this is, to be honest, this is more than we'd usually allocate through this scheme.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would happen if we were only able to partly fund the project? Would you do it?
I think I could still make it work. I was just thinking about the hours and the time that would be put into it, but yes, I think I can still make it work. It would. I don't know if it'll be a lesser capacity or not, to be honest. I'll be really honest. I was advised to ask for more than what you want or need, and we can always move things around and tighten things up. Yeah, so I'm not too worried about that.
I mean, all the amounts. I mean, this is what this project should cost, really.
Yeah.
The other thing is the ticket price is at $10. That's quite. I would think that's quite low for a performance.
Yeah, it is quite low. I'm just thinking about how tight things are for people. I even thought of we could possibly do 2 or even 3 in one day, and try and fill up the hall that way. I mean, I'm really open to anything. It's just, I just think it's a really good idea, and it'll be fun to do, and people will enjoy it. So that's really my kaupapa. Ultimately, that's my kaupapa.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Wonderful. Question, Michelle.
Hi there, Himi.
Hi.
Just a very quick question. Film's one of my passions and one of my things that I've
Yes.
done for years.
Yep.
So
Yep.
have you got an editing team, or are you doing that part yourself as well?
Yes, I've got an editing suite and access to all the equipment that's needed.
Is that you or another person?
Me basically.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good on you.
Yeah, we've got a little studio in Pakakariki as well, so I can access that as well. So
Absolutely. And is it just your footage, or are you going to reach out to many of
Well,
us who would love to
ultimately,
help you?
yes, I mean, I would reach out. I would be really, really happy with that, because that would actually cut down hours on.
Exactly.
Because I'm thinking of doing really crazy things like walking way up into Tararua Ranges and shooting some footage and
Perfect.
things like that. But you know, that's a personal goal. I mean, I don't know if I can walk that far. I really don't. But other footage would be really great. It'll just be a quality thing. That's all.
Well, that's time, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Lovely.
But it would really help with time, the time-consuming part of shooting footage. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Sounds like you guys will be busy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Look, lovely.
Thanks.
Staff will...
Thanks for the time. Yeah.
You're welcome. Staff will be in touch for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Text me. Can you text me?
Madam Chair, I understand that although there was initially an apology from Capri Ballet Society, that maybe Anna Fulton is going to speak, but she hasn't appeared in the waiting room yet. Narita, maybe you can clarify?
Yes, she will be speaking, but I haven't heard from her since. So perhaps we can wait for her a bit longer, or you can put the next person on.
If you're comfortable, Madam Chair, we do have a couple of people in the waiting room. So we have Tiziana Stoto, who I could let in, who would be the next person just a little early.
Sounds good. Yes.
She's coming in now. This is in relation to application 24.
Thank you. Hello. Hello, Tiziana?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, hello. Welcome. Morena. Thank you for your application. You have 3 minutes to speak to it. Tell us all about it. And then there's 2 minutes, and then staff will let us know when 3 minutes is up. And then there's 2 minutes for questions from committee members.
Okay. So my project is called Theatre at Home, because the idea is to offer the opportunity to Capri residents to have a theatre at home experience. This idea came to me because I heard the people complaining that because of COVID, they couldn't go to Wellington anymore to see any show in a theatre. And a few friends of mine who are performance artists were very frustrated because they couldn't perform, because all their shows were cancelled because of COVID restriction. So I thought, if we cannot go to Wellington to theatre, why don't we find a way to bring the theatre to the Capri Coast? And I thought it would be enough to open a communication channel between the people who want to perform and the people on the Capri Coast that have a big house and are happy to host a show at their place, and we can all be happy. So the idea is, because I'm a website developer, to create a website in which I could list all the plays and the information about the artists that are happy to come to perform on the Capri Coast. So the people interested can have a sort of a catalog of what is available, and choose if they want to invite somebody to their place and to share the experience with their friends. In the website, I don't want to list the people who are offering the location, because I want to respect the privacy and the confidentiality. So they will be able to contact me if they are interested, or directly contact the performing artist in private. And I'm not alone. I will be the one developing the website, but there are already some friends and neighbors who are happy to host something at their place. And I have 3 very talented actresses ready to come. One of them is Jane Bolwell, who spoke, I think, 30 minutes ago. And I also have Carlum Latimore, who's a journalist, and she used to be a producer for Radio New Zealand. And she's happy to help with promoting the website on radio, in the newspapers, and also on social media. And we thought that this is a project that is good for the COVID, but even later on, because we have senior people on the Capri coast. For them, it's maybe difficult to go to Wellington, and the artists can come here during the week and have a show in the afternoon. And so it will be, I suppose, a pleasant experience.
That's time, Madam Chair.
Oh, thank you very much. Fascinating idea. Good and timely. Councillor Holbrook, you have a question.
Thank you so much for this initiative and this creative around finding solutions. I know so many performing artists who are really struggling now, you know, so just even having this idea is such a tremendous support. I have 2 questions. The first one is, there isn't a budget here for promoting the website. How will people know how to find it?
So all the promotion will be done just by volunteers. So people will just talk to each other, and Carlum is happy to do all her promotion for free.
That's good to know. You can still put that in the budget with a 0 amount next to it.
Okay. Because it's my first time, I was not familiar with how to deal with the application.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's helpful. My other question is, if the venues aren't publicized, is this, rather than being a connection point for people, is this, it seems to me it's actually a registry of performing artists who want to perform in private venues. Would that be an accurate assessment?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But I think then people can just talk to each other, communicate on Facebook or things like that and I suppose even when we start having a few successful events, then people will talk to each other and we will spread the words like that.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Raise hand. Got it.
Oh. Hi, Michelle.
Hi. How are you, Tiziana? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I'm waiting for Madam Chair to let me talk.
Sorry, Madam Chair. Please, sorry. Sorry, Madam Chair apologises to the meeting. I just had to take a call. Yes, Michelle.
Just a simple, quick question, Tiziana, and good on you. I really love what you're trying to do here. But is the application basically to set up the website?
Yes.
Nothing to do with the project. Okay.
No, it's to set up the website, and then I will keep updating the website when new people are available, or other people, maybe they do it for a couple of months and they don't want to do it anymore. But I will do it in my own time as a volunteer.
So it's sort of a live ongoing performance venue that you've kind of created. Is that right?
Yes, I want to do that. Yeah. I want to give the opportunity to enroll and then go away. Other people come back. It's an ongoing project.
So it's sort of what I'd call a house concert.
Yes, something like that.
Thank you. But you're applying for funding to set up the website.
Yes, to pay for the website fees and.
Got it. Thank you, Tiziana.
You're welcome.
That's time, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I just have a really brief question. Tiziana, are you going to promote and integrate your website with the Creative Capri website that covers the arts in Capri?
I want to integrate it if it is possible, with as many other websites as possible, even with all the website listing all the performing arts and everything, because I think people in the performing arts need exposure, and it's not a repetition, it's just promoting them as much as possible.
Thank you, that's wonderful. Look, staff will be in touch. Thank you, Tiziana.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Madam Chair, according to our schedule, we have Charlotte Graham next, so I'll just let her into the waiting room, out of the waiting room. Coming in now, that's in relation to application 25.
Oh.
Hello, Charlotte. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hi. We can't quite see you yet. I'm Councillor Elliott, the chair. We have 3 minutes scheduled for you to speak, and there will be 2 minutes, and then staff will let you know how that 3 minutes is going, and then two minutes for questions from the members. Okay. So the floor is yours. You can either turn your camera on or just speak. We can hear you very well.
Hold on a minute. Look here. I thought I was on. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I'll just get started. This application is to support Otaki Montessori's aspiration to bring in some more te ao Māori into our centre and increase our manaakitanga and hospitality to our families. Our children have a curriculum that delves into space and star clusters. So Matariki is an easy way for us to celebrate a number of things at one time and tackle some valuable learning across various modes of learning. So the clay project that we have in mind is designed to meet new members of our wider community as they come in to help us. Use clay, which is quite new to us. We are very au fait with Play-Doh, but clay is quite different. It's more challenging and it releases gases. There is a long process from rolling out clay, cutting clay, firing it, and glazing it before we put it on an installation. And it's wonderful for the tamariki to see how it changes over that process. Matariki is a time where we celebrate with kapahaka and waiata and legends and food. And we normally do that all together with our families. COVID has put a bit of a dampener on it, but this year we're hoping that we can all come together for a big shared kai and celebration again. It would be wonderful for us to have an art installation reflecting Matariki that we can put on our fence, which is technically a public space as it's council-owned land. We've got a new fence line here at Otaki Montessori, and our aim is to have some beautiful panels installed along the fence so that the public can see it, and on a daily basis the children in the whānau can look at their work, keep it nicely polished, and feel proud of themselves and know that next year we could tackle something else, whether it's another star cluster or whether we move on into Ao Māori and perhaps look at Tangaroa and an undersea world, or Tāwhiri Mātia and do something beautiful with the wind.
That's time, Madam Chair.
That sounds lovely. A question from Michelle.
It does sound lovely. It's really quite beautiful. When I read your application, are you going to affiliate yourself with the Otaki Pottery Club? Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
Right, but your application has nothing to do with Otaki Pottery Club. They're just going to advise you. Is that right?
They're going to advise us, but also send 2 or 3 volunteers to come and help us and the children cut out our clay. Last year we did a prototype.
Yes.
And he's
gorgeous.
strong enough. It
Gorgeous.
was beautiful. So we've learned a lot from that. And we went with the Otaki Pottery Club under the Give It a Go scheme. So they funded us to do that last year. This year they said, you've got to do it for yourselves. We will still support you with the creation and the firing and the glazing. But they really want us to learn how to do it so we can continue to do it for ourselves as part of our regular curriculum, if we can afford it. Yeah.
Thank you. Janet.
This is a beautiful idea. Thank you so much for coming along and explaining it better for me today, because when I read the application, it looked like something that's usual curriculum activities for a early childhood learning centre. It's the kind of thing we used to do at Play Centre. We always had clay. How is it different to what you do on a day-to-day basis through normal operating budgets?
We can't afford clay very often. Sometimes Rod from Otaki Pottery will give me half a bag. We really need support in following through on getting work fired, glazed and fired, and then installed or in a suitable state for a child to take it home and celebrate it.
It's time, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Charlotte, staff will be in touch and let you know how the process goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we've had a few people come into the waiting room, and I wonder if they might be some people who, although the names aren't exactly clear, they might be some people that we missed earlier. So if I could let the first one in, this may be Rod Graham, I'm not sure.
Okay. Hello. What name am I looking for, Fiona?
It's come up as Trust.
Right, okay.
They popped up much earlier and then disappeared, so that's why I'm wondering if it might be Mr. Graham. Are you able to hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Hi, yes, who is this?
It's Rod Graham here, yeah.
Oh, hello, Rod. It's Councillor Elliott here, the chair.
Hello, Jackie.
Hi, great to have you join us this morning. Rod, you have 2 minutes, 3 minutes speaking time, and then there will be 2 minutes for members to ask you questions, and staff will let you know when your 3 minutes is up. And feel free to turn your camera on if you can, or if not, we can hear you very well.
Can you tell me how to do that? How to turn the camera on or not?
Are you on a computer or on an iPad?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop. I'm on a laptop here.
So down the bottom left-hand side, there should be options that go from left to right, going mute, and then there should be start video. Are you able to click on the start video, and that should bring you up?
How's that?
Much better. We can see you now.
Hi.
Is that all right? Okay.
You did disappear again, so.
Okay, I'll try again. How's that?
Yes.
Oh,
wonderful.
Okay.
Hello.
Great. Okay, well, kia ora koutou, and I do apologise for disrupting your schedule this morning. Lost my internet contact at a crucial time. I'm talking about the Have a Go project first, aren't I? So what I need to say about this was far more successful than we had imagined. And the interest in people wanting to actually have a go and get their hands in clay has been quite astounding. We thought after losing the festival this year that we might find that And last year with COVID, we might find that we couldn't fulfill the program. But what we did at that point was we moved it out into school. So I want to say to you that, you know, to give people an opportunity who would not normally get their hands on clay, who would not normally have the chance to experience pottery, this has been a most successful thing. And it's something that I think would be, you know, for creative communities to really consider putting an investment into, because what it does, it stimulates interest for people to move forward if they're keen. So I want to thank you, first of all, for the support you've given to the program. And now that, as this year, we've got a new event coming up at Matariki, we know that there's going to be a big opportunity for people to actually come into the rooms and have a go while there's an exhibition running and so on. So perhaps it's better for me to leave that there and leave you to ask the questions.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have questions? Councillor Randall.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a great believer in have a go, particularly if you can attract teenagers, because I've seen people doing have a go at glass blowing, and then that person just had a natural ability at it and made a profession out of it by making glass trinklets and selling them. So I often believe these have a go sessions are very worthwhile, and we should be encouraging them. That's my personal view.
Thank you. I can assure you that we have had people who have come in and they've come in and they've had a go. We've got 2 young boys who've come in, had a go, and then all of a sudden we realise they've got a natural talent on the wheel. And so we've given them extra tuition free of charge through the program, and they've come up trumps, really. Yeah, great.
Oh, that's great news. Michelle.
Hi there. I'm hi, Rob. Rod, I have never done clay, but my mother did and my sister did. So I had a bit of a background there. And it's probably an ignorant question, but I see you buying clay. My mother used to go and collect her own clay from around New Zealand and get different colours and make stuff with it. Is that something that you guys have ever investigated? As in, wow, what sort of clay do we have on the coast? I mean, I realise that artistic clay is artistic clay, but I'm just curious to know if you've ever gone down that path.
Well, thanks. We have. We've looked at, there are clay deposits around Otaki in particular. There was a brickworks up Waidahu Valley Road, but near Trinity Farm. But it's a low firing clay, and considering that we've got 400 members and we're putting through 100 adult students a week, plus children's classes, we really just haven't got the time. But we have tried adding the terracotta in with other clays, and it's been quite successful. Thank you.
Excellent. There's something about making from your own backyard.
Absolutely.
Great. Look, don't appear to be any more questions. Thanks you so much, Rob. Do you want to speak now to your next application?
Sure. Well, we've had a good working association with Creative New Zealand over the years with programs for young people through the schools and so on. But now that we're in our new building at the racecourse, we're running our own programs there, and we're supporting schools out in the district. But this particular application is to support an ongoing workshop which runs throughout the year during the school term for children up to the age of, or young people up to the age of 18. And it's proved to be extremely successful. We had Paula Archibald running the program up until this year, and it was very popular. We always have waiting lists. But this program also includes a component to allow children who can no longer afford, families who no longer can afford to access programs. And that's become really more apparent, as you would probably be aware, Jackie, particularly in the Otaki area. So what we've done, we know it's an expensive program to run, but what we've done is we are prepared to put the investment into young people, and we're prepared to give them the opportunity to be really creative, which means that we've got to be quite flexible in the things that they want to make. So I can say that over the years, you know, we've had a lot of young people who've gone through this program, and we're getting a lot of adults now that are coming back into the program and bringing their teenage children into the program. So I think it's a really good long-term investment for particularly for ceramics in New Zealand, but for the arts in general, because it's bringing a lot of people into the place who can see possibilities. And these young people are really enthusiastic and creative. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Can't see any. No, but look, good luck with your application. I absolutely loved the afternoon I spent visiting your new premises, the workshops. It's amazing. And I think Otaki and the district are very, very lucky to have those and you doing your work. Thank you. So staff will be in touch, Rob, to let you know the outcome of this funding. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me a second chance.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I'll see you again. Thank you. Goodbye.
See you again. Bye.
Bye.
Madam Chair, excuse me, we have Mary Gow coming in now for Mulled Wine Concerts. That's application 23.
Wonderful.
Mary,
Hello,
are you able to
Mary.
hear us?
Hello, Mary.
Okay, unmute, share video. Here we go. How's that?
Oh, that's wonderful. Marina, Mary, welcome to our meeting and thank you for your application. We've allocated you 3 minutes to speak. Staff will let you know when that 3 minutes is up, and then there is 2 minutes for questions. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. Ngā mihi for listening to giving me the chance to speak to my application. Mulled Wine Concerts in Paekakariki have been going for 15 years. I think most people know me as Mary Mulled Wine Concerts, who does her concert at Mary's Memorial Hall in Paekakariki. I've applied for money to help me move the piano. The piano comes from my home 1 kilometre down the road into the hall, and that is reversed, and that costs $870 each time I do that. So that's the main focus of the application. My main focus this year in 2022 is to provide the musicians around New Zealand with a performance, to keep their fingers in working order and to give them a podium for playing the music, which they prepare months and months ahead. And I'm very determined never to postpone or cancel a meeting, a concert. And the musicians have been extremely grateful for me for that very reason. So far I've only been able to pay for their costs, their flights from Wellington, Wanaka, and on next week, Michael Endress will be coming from Christchurch. So I can pay their flights, but at the moment, because of the lack of audience, actually, I don't have money to be able to pay them yet. However, the last concert we did make a video, and I'm sending that around, and that usually brings in donations. So I'd just like to skip forward now and quote one of my regular audience members sent in this letter of assistance, you know, and it came in after the concert started, after the application had been made. And it reads, I have attended the Mulled Wine Concerts since they began and have always been very impressed with the quality, the artists, the event and the organisation. What's really special though is to see musicians create thoughtful and creative programs that they may otherwise not perform. And she goes on to say, the intimate setting encourages the performers to speak and explain the pieces to the audience. It's a truly special and intimate experience. From the hosting to the quality of the music, I cannot recommend these concerts high enough. And that's really all I've got to say. And I would really like to hear some questions, please.
Thank you. Questions? Yes, Councillor Randall.
I think he's on mute.
I couldn't unmute myself because of, and I won't explain why. Mary, well done. And I'm a member of the Paraparu Raumati Community Board, and we've strongly supported you over the years, as you probably recall, doing a great job there.
Yes. Thank you very much. Please.
Question, Bernie, did you have a question?
That was a question. Do you believe that you're doing a great job?
You won't
Thank
believe
you.
I'm doing a great job. Yes. The fact that the musicians keep coming back is usually the only pat on the back that I look forward to. And, you know, they're coming from all over New Zealand. Sadly, I couldn't get in my Russian this year. He now lives in Taiwan, but he's on our list for next year. So yes, Bernie, thank you very much. I do feel that the musicians hold the concerts in high respect. And yesterday, Michael Endres, we did our interview for Coast Access Radio, and I said, so what is it about Paikakariki, the memorial hall that you like? And he said, oh, that's easy. I love it when you open the windows and I can play, I can hear the sea. And I said, do you like the intimate thing? And he said, I very much like. He said, these pieces that I'm playing, you know, Mozart, Schumann, Schubert, these were written more for the living room. And the fact that we have the chairs in a U shape, that nobody is more than 3 or 4 rows from the front, and the audience really like that. And then of course they've got the chance to speak with the musicians afterwards, and that makes it a bit special. Thank you, Bernie.
Other questions? Okay, I have a question. Mary, right behind me is my oldest, it's my great aunt's piano. It's one
Lovely.
of the pianos in our house.
Lovely.
So I know what's involved in moving them.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days when she was teaching dancing at the Blue Moon Hall at Paraparaumu Beach, every hall had a piano. Is that not something that happens these days?
No. I now do the concerts in Featherston as well, and the Anzac Hall unusually does have a beautiful large Yamaha piano, which is very much the advantage of that hall. At St. Peter's Hall, we have an old upright there, which is also extremely good. But these concerts that I organise, they demand really the best
top ones, yeah.
piano. So that's why I bring my Schimmel, brand new Schimmel. Well, brand new, it's under 10 years old. So that's, in effect, that's new. I bring it down from the house. I do have another piano in the house in case there's ever a hiccup. I've got a Steinway from 1895. And if there's ever a problem, then I've got the choice of 2. But the musicians, especially Michael Endres, he prefers the new Schimmel.
Oh, wonderful. You're a very generous person. I don't know if I can give you my piano to leave the house.
Well, and the Russian, strangely enough, much Nikolai Saratovsky, he much prefers the Steinway.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for coming to see us today. We've learned a lot about pianos, actually. And Mary, staff will be in touch and let you know the outcome of this round.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Am I allowed to listen to the next couple of people?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I would have to see what Fiona says.
Yes.
Madam Chair, that is at your discretion. The general feel has been that people have been coming in and doing theirs and heading out, but there is the ability to listen on the live stream.
I suppose if we were in chambers, people could still sit in the seats and listen, couldn't they? So it's not as though it's public excluded. I'm quite happy.
Thank you. I'll put myself on mute.
Okay.
Madam Chair, we have I have 2 people in the waiting room. I still have Holly sitting there, and so I'm not sure if that is connected to, and there's been people that have come and gone. So I'm not sure whether Narita and Sonia wanted to check with Anna Fulton and Natalie Taiaki because they haven't popped in, but I do have Jonas Kokul in there, so perhaps we could have him in and we could look to see if those last remaining people who perhaps have tried to connect and couldn't could still try.
Okay, thank you very much. Lovely. Yep, we'll have Jonas in. I'm not seeing Jonas in the room yet.
He should have just
popped in
now.
Popped in.
There we go.
Marina Jonas, hi, thank you. Councillor Jackie Elliott, I'm the chair and welcome to our meeting. Jonas, thank you for your application too. We have 3 minutes for you to speak, and then staff will let you know when 3 minutes is up, and then there'll be 2 minutes for members to ask you questions.
Kia ora, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It worked out. I had some technical problems. Yeah, so kia ora koutou. My name is Jonas Kokel. Do you hear me actually?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
You do.
Sweet.
Where are you from? Can I ask?
So I'm originally from Czech Republic. That's where the weird accent is coming from. And my wife is Canadian, and we moved to New Zealand many years ago, and spent most of our time in the Wairarapa. And just last year, just in the spring, we moved here over to Capri.
Good choice. Welcome.
Yeah,
let's hear your application.
Yeah, and the project what I'm suggesting to do is it's a community music co-creation workshop, and that's a wananga what I did really all around the world for many years. I'm originally the primary teacher, so I have the master's degree in primary teaching and the music. I also studied the music therapy, and this is what I think people really want to do. I see my strength more than teaching in the schools to actually work with all ages, and that's what I'm offering to do, to have a platform, regular platform, where people can come and play music. And I have a really large collection of musical instruments from all around the world. It's so many instruments that I can't even fit it into quite a big van, and it's all tuned in a special way. Quite a few of those instruments are used for the music therapy, and so they are tuned the way that even if you never played anything, you can't do a mistake. That means that it's very easy to feel the belonging to the group, and it's very easy to get over, usual mainstream fears of joining in, and it really allows people to express a lot, to connect and to play, and without any fears, to enjoy the rhythms, enjoy the harmonies. Also, my experience is that anytime we do that, it actually really inspires people to sing, even if they don't know how to sing. So we do this with all ages, in the kindergartens, in the senior homes. And the best is to have at least from my point of view, the best is to have intergenerational groups. And so that's what I would like to do here in Paraparaumu or in Kapiti Coast. And also I noticed—
It is time, Madam Chair.
Sorry?
Okay. That was your 3 minutes up, so I'll let you wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that while I was doing it in Wellington, there were quite a few voices of the adults asking me if I can do adults only sessions, because it's a different energy if we have a bunch of kids and having a lot of fun with children and the families. So that's why I would like to do one session for the families, followed by a more let's say meditative or calming way, where that would be only for adults to enjoy the present. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle.
Hi there, Jonas. Welcome. And I'm fascinated with this because I'm right into world music myself, and I have a huge collection of bamboo flutes, etc., and percussion. So I relate to what you're saying. Everybody has kind of been warned that there's been a lot of money a lot of projects seeking money this year, and there's not as much money to go around.
Right.
If your application is on the higher side, how would it affect you if you don't succeed with the amount you're asking for? How will it affect your project?
Right. Yeah. Thanks for the question. That's right now in the application, I asked for the funding that would cover very, I would say, extremely expensive venue, which I chose because I wanted to be able to open it for anyone, and didn't find any other place than the Capri Impact Hub, where even unvaccinated people would be able to join us if they wanted. And it looks like that may change a lot now. So that was quite a big part of the cost, and it would affect me the way that I would have to reduce the fee that I suggested for me as a facilitation, and I would have to reduce probably the number of the sessions, as well as I would just find a cheaper venue, which I'm already, I have a long list of very, very nice places around. So yeah, it would go ahead with a smaller amount, definitely.
Thank you. And Janet. Janet?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, I'm a bit slow with the unmute button. Thank you so much for your presentation. And it sounds like just a wonderful experience for the people who do it. I'm just interested, because I haven't heard what you create. Is it more music or more therapy?
Oh, it's not therapy at all. I mean, it definitely has the potential to have a therapeutic effect, but that's not, therapy is something totally different. This is, I think, from a music therapist point of view, this kind of sessions we call really community musicianship. All right, so it's more about that experience. We don't set up the goal that we would be improving some issues what the participants have, and any time can come. So you don't have to come regularly. You can come once. You can come once a month. Or you can come every week, and so it's not a therapy.
Okay. Yeah, there was quite a focus on the kind of benefits that it brings in terms of a therapeutic effect, but so the other question's a little bit more mundane, maybe. So I know people who run, kirtan sessions. People pay for that. People pay to go to yoga. People pay for their kids' music classes. Why is the koha nearly zero? Why can't people contribute when they experience something like this? I mean, that would be usual.
Mm-hmm. People can contribute. My experience is so far in New Zealand that anytime I did any work like this, and this is not just from the Wairarapa where people with not enough resources are living, but the same in the Wellington city. I know that it really allows people who would not be able to come, and so mainly the families with the children, who see that it would be really beneficial for our kids to put their hands on the drum or play the guitar or something, but they don't have the resources. So that's the main thing, to allow really quite a different kind of people who would probably maybe even not meet otherwise, to actually do the music together and create things together. And the koha, which usually is collected, it's not a lot of money, and those instruments are very special and rare, and they need the maintenance. So it never actually even covered the maintenance cost, like putting new skins or the drum.
Yeah, thank you. It's a beautiful thing that you do. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lovely. Look, staff will be in touch, Johannes, and with the outcome. Thank you.
Ngā mihi. Thank you very much.
Ngā mihi. Fiona.
Madam Chair, I understand from Narita that Natalie Taiaki was still trying to connect, but I also do still have a Holly in the waiting room. So I wonder if we just check if she's somebody that we missed earlier, whether that was perhaps Anna Fulton trying to log in under another name, perhaps.
Okay.
And I do, let's just try that one first.
Okay. Hello. Hello, Holly. Hello, Holly. Fiona,
Looks like we might be having some problems there. So we'll also
Okay.
try, there's Kira waiting in the room, and I think that may be Natalie's other
All right.
account. So let's try that one. She's coming through to you now.
Lovely. Hello there. Good morning, Kira. We've got the name Kira coming up. I'm not familiar with
I
all
know,
the-
sorry. Let's just do a change.
Yeah. You don't need to change it now. Who are we talking to?
Natalie and Shelley from Capri Playhouse.
Can you hear us?
Ladies, where are you from?
Capri Playhouse.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. So we're talking to Natalie?
Yep, and Shelley.
Great. Hi. Welcome to our meeting this morning. You have 3 minutes to speak with us. Tell us about your project. Then the staff will let you know when 3 minutes is up, and then there is 2 minutes for questions from members. The stage is yours.
Mauri ora ki te whare, ko tēnei te mihi ki a koutou e te komiti mō tēnei wā kōrero e tautoko ana e tā maua pukupuku tono mō te pūtia. Ko Natalie Taiaki ahau, ko Shelley Shackleton tēnei, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora koutou, I'm Natalie and this is Shelley. We're on the Capri Playhouse Committee and we're also the co-directors for the Addams Family Musical. Shelley's going to speak a little bit first about our production and then I'll talk a little bit about the financial reasons for applying for the grant.
Kia ora. So as you know, the Addams Family the Musical is our show of choice. It's been many, many years since Capri Playhouse put on a show of this size. In fact, Natalie and I were teenagers when they last put on a show of this size. And it was our vision to bring more youth into the theatre and offer that opportunity for the youth in our community. It was also a vision to bring people together after these trying times and lots of theatre disruptions. And we needed a bigger cast than our usual 4 to 6 people. The Addams Family is really well known to families and households, and therefore it appeals to a range of people within our community. The age ranges from 12 years to older adults, and this makes it inclusive and offers a bit of something for everyone to come and view. And that's really great for people after events and things have been cancelled and postponed. So we love that we have a representation from both of our local colleges and that the show is a comedy which offers a little bit of light relief during these uncertain times.
And so just to add on to that, kind of our financial reasons, as Shelley mentioned, it's a larger scale production than what we normally put on. So a larger scale production means more resources, and in that case it brings more costs. So we've got things like microphone hireage, which is something we don't normally need, makeup product, wigs, wardrobes. All of these things are on a larger scale than what we would normally need for our production. Also, we've had major effects and impacts from COVID over the last couple of years. We normally try to get 3 productions on a year. 2020, we weren't able to get any productions on. 2021, we were able to get 2 going of our 3, which was fantastic, but that was impacted with lockdowns as well. So we weren't able to get our final production on for last year. So this year, we're intending to get 3 productions on the stage. But because of that impact, we own our theatre and there are running costs associated to that. We need to pay to keep the theatre going and also to fund future productions. So we actually just had our AGM last night and I think last year we made a profit of just over $900. So we're really hoping to make more of a profit this year, be able to keep our theatre going. We've been going for over 70 years in the community. And we really need to keep, to have some money coming in to keep running. So that's all we wanted to say today. Thank you for your time. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Thank you. Kia pai. Do we have any questions from the floor? From the members?
Reactions. Raise hand.
Councillor Holbrook.
Yeah, I did ask this question offline, and I believe you've answered it, but just to clarify, it does seem like quite a high amount to me. I can be corrected, but did you get a second quote from somewhere else, or have you looked at the cost of actually buying the microphones?
We actually, it didn't occur to us to buy them because we don't use them usually. Usually our productions are much smaller scale. We're only using the front half of our stage, which is actually very deep. In order to hear our cast in this production, we needed microphones. But it's just not a good investment for our theatre because we don't use them. I think the last time from memory we used them was back in 1997 when we put on Chicago, but that was actually at Southwood, so we would have been using their resources there. It's not a good investment for us.
The quote also that covers any damages. So one little wire going could be about $500 to repair. So that's the running cost that we wouldn't be able to fund ourselves at KP, and that's why the hireage ends up being a bit more because it covers all of those issues that might arise. Yeah,
that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Hi there, and well done to you, ladies. I know quite a lot about sound. It's what I do.
Good.
I couldn't actually read your thing. Sorry. So, what brand of mics are you actually hiring? I'm being really technical right now.
Oh.
Okay. Right. I don't have that information on me immediately, but I can. If you bear with me, I can probably find that.
Your sound is weird. I absolutely understand why you want good quality sound. So I'm not sort of picking holes in your request at all, yes. But I'm just curious to know. I years ago invested in mics myself because that's what I need. And I could have done the cheap option. I didn't. I did the expensive option. So I kind of technically support you, but I am curious. Yes. And I kind of agree with Janet's other question is, how many quotes did you get? Because there are various sound companies around now. More than they used to be.
This was one that we found locally, and in all honesty, it was quite rushed to get all of this information together.
Sure.
I only had the time to get the one quote at that time, and this was the one that we were able to get in a timely fashion. So,
and in supporting local, there is one in Petone we've been told of as well that we could have approached, just didn't have the time. Yeah.
No, I understand that. And I assume you're going for wireless mics.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. Completely relate. I totally relate.
The information, I'm not actually sure.
Madam Chair, that is time.
Oh, okay. All right, ladies. Thank you so much. Staff will be in touch with you with the outcome. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Fiona.
Madam Chair, we don't have anyone else left in the waiting room. I haven't been able to hear about whether Anna Fulton is going to try and come in or not. So perhaps Narita or Sonia could clarify.
Yes, Fiona, thank you. We will move on because she was in the room and she sort of left at around 10:45, I think her time was. So I think we move on from here.
Thank you both so much. We now move to item number 6, members' business, a public speaking responses that I believe has been taken care of, unless staff want to add anything further. No. B, leave of absence. No. And C, I haven't been notified of any matters of an urgent nature. Is there anything I should be aware of? No. Okay. We will now move to item number 7, and that is reports. 7.1, consideration of applications for funding.
Madam Chair, Councillor Holborough is...
Yes, Councillor Holborough.
Just before you go on, that is of urgent nature. This might be a place where we acknowledge the resignation of one of our committee members. I don't see where else in the agenda it would fit in. It would be good to record it.
True. There are actually 2 committee members who resigned, Evelina and yep. Names escape me.
Paula Archibald, Madam Chair.
Yes, that's right. So yes, we have now two vacancies for public members, and I'm sure staff will be embarking on up the process to bring new members into the committee.
Yeah, so potentially the minutes could just record that we note resignations of those 2 committee members, and look forward to the staff recruiting replacements or something like that.
That's great. Councillor, do you want that to be a recommendation, or just a simple with a seconder and a voting, or just a noting?
I think it just could be noted.
Lovely. Yep.
Advice on that from
agree.
Services?
Madam Chair, I
yes.
thought Tracy had a hand up. And Madam Chair,
I think it was. Yeah.
I noticed one of the speakers is still online.
Yes, thank you very much, Councillor. I'm fine with that for the time that the report is being presented by staff, after which time we will be going into public excluded for deliberations. So it would only be us and staff. Okay. Right. Now I'd like to hand over to Narita Clark, thank you, to present report 7.1.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now, I'd like to just to start on the increase from Creative New Zealand. We were sort of rewarded an amount of 12,000 for the Omicron support scheme that was to elevate COVID impact for artists. That gave us an extra. Yeah, that gave us the extra 12,000, where originally we would have only had around sort of 19,000 for this round. So that was really good for us, I think. Just moving on from there, I was just trying to get everything in place here. Sorry. Okay, so this round we had one withdrawal, application number 16, which was Capri Corral. This means that the total has now been updated from what we had on the report. It's updated to $67,578.18. And the difference between the available funding and request is $37,081.76. Capri Corral has rescheduled their project to next year, May, and will submit an updated application again in March, April of round next year. For COVID preparedness, the applicants this round, I've noticed that most of them have mentioned sort of the contingencies that they've put in place within their application, or they've mentioned it through speaking through to me. And also, you know, contingencies as part of the actual event. In paragraph 3 on the report, it's mentioned about extensions to projects. We've already noted in the report to this meeting that the committee has discretion to be flexible in the case of applicants and also recipients from previous rounds having to defer their projects due to the impact of COVID and other reasons. One current case that was granted an extension by the committee was Sonia Hardy at the Turakura Capri. She was granted an extension of time to complete the project, named Professional Editing, Mentoring for Young Filmmakers. The committee granted Sonia $1,500 towards the project in October 2020. This was a while ago. The project was delayed because the original educator became unavailable through sickness. Subsequently, Sonia has decided to cancel the project due to key people being unavailable, and original interest participants have now moved on. Sonia will be returning back to us all the full fund of the $1,500. At this stage, I'd just like to know if the committee is actually okay with this.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I have my hand up for a question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Janet's got a question.
Okay.
Madam Chair, Councillor Holborough has her hand up.
Sorry, yes, are you happy to take questions during the report, narrator? Sorry, I didn't ask.
Yes.
Yep. Go ahead, Janet.
Yeah, it's just we were asked for feedback around that, and it makes sense to ask questions ahead of giving a steer, I think. So in terms of returning the funds, will they then be available to the creative scheme next financial year? Because in the past we haven't been able to carry over funds from one financial year to another. So I'm just trying to make sure that those funds don't disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually intending to speak to Creative New Zealand about that. So we're hoping that we'll be able to have it for the next round.
Ideally, if people are going to return funds, they could be encouraged to return funds within the financial year so that we can redistribute them. That $1,500 would have been really useful for this round of funding.
No, you're quite right, but I think Sonia was hoping that she'd be able to go ahead with it, and it's not until very recently that she said that she's decided that she don't think it's going to happen, because she did actually go away to look to see if she had the interested participants still available, and it turned out that she doesn't. So I was going to have a word with Creative New Zealand to see what we can do about this in order not to lose it.
Okay. Unfortunate timing, I guess. Thank you.
It is. It's very unfortunate timing. Okay. Right.
Yep.
Okay. So focusing on priorities, we continue to note the committee's focus on projects that assist in the recovery and resilience in time of the pandemic. Given the ongoing impacts of COVID-19 on the community, we have continued to reflect this priority and the continued focus on Ngātua Māori in our advertising. I'm going to ask a question here. Is the committee still happy for us to continue doing so?
Okay, sorry, Michelle, question.
Could you repeat that, please? I just couldn't quite, my audio cut out.
Okay, I'll just, so, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So what I was saying is that we're continuing to reflect the priority of COVID and Ngātua Māori in our advertising. And I was just asking the committee if you're happy for us to continue to do so.
Yes. Yes, I am. Committee members?
Madam
Janet?
Chair, Michelle Scullion has her hand up, physically, not digitally, but she may wish to speak.
Mute.
You just need to unmute yourself, Michelle.
I didn't mute me. Okay, no, purely I'm in agreement with the question as well.
Okay, response, Janet and Bernie? Yep, thumbs up, okay.
Madam Chair, Mike Mendonça also wishes to speak. He just needs to unmute.
I think I am unmuted.
There we go.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excuse me for interrupting. Narita, I was just going to suggest you run through presenting the report and hold any questions till you've finished presenting the report. It's a wee bit stop-start, sort of stopping halfway through. So my suggestion is you just roll through with it, and then you can take questions at the end, if that's all right with you, Madam Chair.
That's fine. Thanks, Mike. Good suggestion. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, so we'll move on to some background information on specific application. Mary Gow, Mulled Wine Concerts. The committee, while supportive of the regular Mulled Wine Concert series, has expressed the organisers to aim to put the series on a more sustainable ground. We recently had a long telephone conversation with Mary, who was open to discussions around sustainable footing. Mary shared her concerns that their recent fundraising events raised a fraction of what they would usually raise due to the impact of COVID. As such, we have arranged a meeting with her to discuss the best way forward towards a more sustainable platform for the Mulled Wine Concert series.
Okay.
And Chris Craddock with Music Festivals, he actually spoke towards his application, and he mentioned a lot of what I was actually going to say, that he was actually successful in his application to the Lime Foundation. So it's now good that with him being a trust, that he can now receive funding from another foundation rather than just Creative Community Scheme. I'll just move on to the reports on promotion. We had a request from the committee to produce a promotional material last year, April. The committee requested staff to produce a material such as a leaflet or brochure to promote this Creative Community Scheme to potential applicants. Staff prepared a leaflet that was distributed to the relevant organisations within Capri District to display. I was actually going to show you what it looks like, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but what I'll do is send each member one of these. It's a leaflet promoting the Creative Community Scheme. And now move on to reports on the previous project. Oh yes. Now all applications to this round who received grants for their projects, they've all finished on time and have submitted completion reports. There are about half of the last year's September round who have yet to submit completion reports, and we will be following up on those. Omicron affected the start date of several projects, but so far all recipients are implementing their events as normal. And we will send the committee an update of the reports from its recipients in the previous round. In fact, we had one recipient who was ready to cancel the event, and because of the changes with the traffic lights from red to orange and all the other mandate changes, they've decided to go ahead. So we're quite fortunate in the fact that we've not had a cancellation from the last round. Yeah, and that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Narita. I am now looking at the recommendations, if that is correct, at which point we would normally go into public excluded and deliberate, and also it's probably time we had a wee break possibly. So Janet, I'm just going to see if you have any questions. Obviously you got a question. I'll take questions now and then we'll look at moving on in that way. So Janet, question? Councillor Hobro, do you have a question?
Madam Chair, based on the video movements, it looks like Councillor Holborough may have some technology issues. It looks like she might have frozen.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I have a question, please, for you, Narita. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I was on mute.
No, that's all right. My question is, could you please just, given that we've had an application withdraw, can you just go over, please, the amount requested now, the amended amount requested, and the difference from the budget? I just want to update those figures.
Yeah.
Oops.
Right, so the amount requested is $67,578.18. And the difference,
yeah,
is $37,081.76.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. Right, are there any more questions from the committee?
Madam Chair, I'll just draw to your attention that Councillor Holborough has just had to exit, and you may need to wait for her to come back in because of a quorum. So I'll just she's just popped back in, so I'll just readmit her now.
Sure. Everyone can have a stretch.
It looks like we have Councillor Holborough back in now. Just a few technical problems, I think.
Lovely. Thank you. Question, Michelle.
Hi, just to clarify, when you say the difference is 37K approx, is that the amount that we have to distribute for these, or is that the shortfall?
No, it's the it's a difference between the amount that the applicant has requested.
Yep.
So the applicant's total altogether that they've requested from the Creative Communities grant is $67,578.18. Okay.
Yep.
And the difference between the amount that they requested and the available amount, yes, the amount that's available is $37,081.76.
I get that. So I guess what I'm asking is, and I can do the math myself, but what's the available amount?
Tell me how much. 31.
She wants to know how much it is.
Yeah, 31,000.
31.
31,000 is the amount that we have to spend.
Thank you.
Thank
Michelle,
you.
that's 19, the normal 19 plus the extra 12 we received because of COVID,
right,
which adds up to the 31. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Big
you.
difference.
Yeah, huge difference. Are there any further questions from the committee for Narita? No,
Madam Chair, yeah, sorry, Tracy's got her hand up. She may need some clarification for the minutes.
Thank you, Fiona. Narita, the spreadsheet advises us that there's the amount of $30,496.42 available for granting. You've just said that there's 31,000 available for granting.
Well, it was more approximate, isn't it? So what's on the spreadsheet is what's available.
So it's not 31, it's 30,500.
Yeah, that's with the cancellation taken out as well.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely. I'm just going to seek some advice from Fiona and Tracy now as to whether or not we have a recess and go into lunch, or we go into public excluded now and start deliberating.
Madam Chair, we do need to draw your attention to there'll need to be a resolution made to move into public excluded, and we have the ability to pull up a screen share with the words needed to move into that public excluded session, and so then you can move into deliberation. After that time, we'd then need to come back in to the open meeting, and then we'd need to pass another resolution to go into public excluded to confirm the public excluded minutes later.
Certainly. It's 12:05. How are people looking at needing a break?
I would like a bathroom stop.
Yeah. Okay, so committee, I'm happy for a steer here. Do you want to have a 10, a 15, a lunch? What do you think at this point?
Well, I need to sort out my technical issues. I've swapped devices and now I need to access my agenda on another one. So I'd appreciate at least a 20-minute break for lunch. We need more than that.
I'm happy for that.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to call that then, and staff, if we can come back into the meeting at 12:25.
Yes, Madam Chair, we can resume at 12:25, and at which time we can pull up those resolutions.
If I may do that?
Yeah, we can pull up those resolutions to move into public excluded at that time. So we'll see you back here at 12:25.
Thank you.
Hello, staff. Fiona?
Sorry, can you hear me now, Councillor Elliott?
Yes, I can. Yes,
sorry. Yes, I was just confirming, yes, let's adjourn until 12:25, and then we'll come back and we'll pull up those resolutions to move into public excluded.
Thank you all so much.